Hey, we're back from spring break. Hopefully you guys were safe, had a little bit of fun. On the screen you can see the final version of the caricature I'm going to demonstrate today. So this is your final version. That is what we're going for here. You're going to have a week and a half to do this, so don't start panicking. You can see here I'm using what we learned for drawing faces to draw my kid's face. I'm using triangles, I'm using circles. Later you'll see me use a lot of rectangles. I used what I used on my mock-up. I liked my sketch. I stuck with it, changed a few things, added some more details. So applied the feedback that I got basically. And as you can see here, there's lots of circles, especially in the hair, and rectangles like in the hammer and the hair that are creating all of my shapes. So remember, we're using basic shapes, and then pretty soon you're going to see me also shading. You guys know the rules for the basic shading. I have a reference photo that's a little bit off screen. You can see the corner of it, and I actually use the reference photo for my shading. So for the shading on the face, which is kind of what's going to sell it, and then I also can look up other reference photos for shading on the hair and all that stuff, because the hair is from a wig from a judge. So you can see here I'm using the same shading that was on the photo of my kid to shade the face and eyes. Now I exaggerated the eyes and the cheeks, made the cheeks extra big and poofy at the bottom, and then I made her eyes really large. You can exaggerate this even more. You can make it as crazy as you want, but I do need to see highlight, midtone, core shadow, cast shadow. I want to know that you are using the skills that we have developed for shading. I also want to see that you are pushing yourself, that you're not going the easy route. So some of you have chosen to, how should I put this gently? Turning crap. Most of you haven't. Most of you have actually put some effort into it, or at least a little bit. Some of you are doing 2-minute sketches and trying to pass that off and getting full credit, and so you'll see that I won't be accepting those. I won't even grade them. So with this, it's a final project that should take you a week and a half. So you need to have a minimum of that's 5 days of school, 5, 6, 7, 7 days total, 20 minutes each. So that's a minimum of at least 2.5 hours, right? Actually, that should be your maxes. You should not spend more than 3 hours on this project in total. 20 minutes a day. Remember, I don't want you to overstress yourself. But you shouldn't be turning in something you did in 10 minutes, right? As you can see here, this took me about an hour and a half, 2 hours. I draw faster than you guys because I have lots of practice. So it should be taking you 2 to 3 hours. Now you can see here my cloak is really light because I accidentally lowered my opacity. You'll see it fix itself in a little bit, but I'm still attempting to do highlights and midtones and core shadows on this black vest. You can see a gray highlight, a really dark core shadow because it's black. You can see I'm fixing my shapes before I go in and add details. So fixing up all my shapes. That was made of triangles, circles, and rectangles. Then I'm going in and doing my highlight and my midtone and my core shadow. In some areas, I'm even adding reflective light because I got fancy. There's some cast shadows on the hand from the mallet, all those things. So again, the goal here is to make an image that you like, that's exaggerated. Make sure you have reference photos. Make sure you have a background, right? You should be filling up at least 75% of the page with pencil. Now, if you don't have pencils, you will have to stop by the school. Go ahead and call them and say, I need to get pencils. I don't have any. Just normal 2H pencils. You might not be able to get as dark as I got here on this image, but you will be able to get good value. And a 2H pencil, like the ones that you use for taking tests, a number 2 pencil actually has decent range. It's not going to be as much as a 6B. Now you see here I did some texture on the desk. Now I'm adding some background. I erased the parts that I didn't want. I'm adding a little bit of a vignette so that you focus more on my little judge there. And then I added a cast shadow onto the back wall, and here you're seeing me mess around with the layers and making the eye a little bit bigger and all that. So again, this is a week and a half. You guys have all this time to go ahead and work on your caricature. I will be available to answer questions. You can send me photos. You can do Messenger, you can do email. If you have items from third quarter that you didn't turn in, it's too late. Third quarter's closed down. Now, the only exception is people who I've given an extension to the 17th, which is 2 people, and you know who you are. So, I hope that you guys did have a great break. I hope that you're going to have a great week as well as we get back into school, and that you'll have some fun with this. Love you guys all. Be safe. Bye.